All right, let's jump right in. If you're a senior architect, you know this pain. You've been there, right? Your company's data is everywhere. AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, you name it. And the question from the top is always the same. How do we find what we need? Like right now. Well, today, we're going to lay out the exact blueprint to solve that.
And this is the core of the problem, isn't it? You've got vital documents over here, customer data over there, and logs in some other system. So when someone needs to connect the dots, they end up hunting and pecking through a dozen different browser tabs. It's slow, it's a mess, and frankly, it kills innovation.
You know, the best way I've found to describe it is a maze. A giant, sprawling data maze. Each cloud is its own section, with high walls. And your users, they're just wandering around inside, totally lost, with no map. Our job, as architects, is to give them that map, to give them that bird's-eye view of everything.
So how do we do that? The solution is actually pretty elegant. A unified search and indexing layer. The goal is simple, but it is so powerful. We want to create one single place to ask questions about all of your content, no matter where it's sitting. And let me be clear, this isn't about some massive, terrifying data migration project. No. It's about creating one central, trustworthy index of your data, kind of like the index in the back of a giant library.
Okay, so how do we actually build this thing? Well, it really boils down to three main pieces. First up, you need data connectors. Think of these as special plugs that connect into each of your data sources. Second, you have your central indexing service. This is the brain of the operation that pulls in all the information from those connectors. And third, the unified query API. That's just the single front door for everyone, users, apps, you name it, to come and ask their questions.
Now, we've got the high-level plan, but now we get to the really juicy part. This is the most critical decision you're going to have to make. How exactly are you going to build that index? Because the path you choose right here is going to have a huge impact on your system's speed, its cost, and just how hard it is to build.
And you've basically got two main flavors to choose from. On one side, you've got federated search. You can think of this as the lightweight approach. When a user searches, you send out a bunch of messengers to all your data sources at the same time, and then piece together what they bring back. Then on the other side, you have the centralized index. This is the heavyweight champ. You proactively pull all the important info into one massive, optimized search index beforehand. And this is where the trade-offs get really interesting. With federated search, the good news is your data is always perfectly up to date, because you're always asking the live system. The bad news? Your speed is totally unpredictable. You're only as fast as your slowest data source. Now, with a centralized index, your speed is incredible, lightning fast, super consistent, a great user experience. But the trade-off is data freshness. Your index might be a few minutes behind reality. And yeah, it's a lot more complicated to build and maintain.
And this quote it nails it, doesn't it? It gets right to the human side of all this technical stuff. At the end of the day, your users don't care about your architecture. They care about speed. A search that's blazing fast but 5 minutes out of date is almost always better than a perfectly current one that makes them wait 30 seconds. Perception is reality.
Okay, so we're feeling pretty good. We've got a plan for speed, we've thought about freshness, but wait a minute. As we start talking about pulling all this information into one central place, there should be a giant alarm bell going off in your head right now. What about security?
Right. And let me be perfectly clear about this. Security is not a feature you just bolt on at the end. It's not an afterthought. It has to be baked into the foundation from day one. I mean, think about it. You are literally building the master key to your entire company's data kingdom. It doesn't just need to be secure. It needs to be a digital Fort Knox.
So what does that look like in practice? Well, there are a few things that are just absolute table stakes, non-negotiable. You need end-to-end encryption for data flying across the network and for data just sitting in your index. You need granular access controls. Basically, if you can't see a file in the original system, you sure as heck can't see it in the search results. You need comprehensive audit logs so you know who searched for what and when. And finally, you need identity federation so users' login and permissions work seamlessly everywhere.
So let's just pull back for a second and look at the big picture. We've designed the parts, we've weighed the pros and cons of our indexing strategy, and we've wrapped the whole thing in layers of security. What we've built here isn't just a bunch of boxes and arrows on a whiteboard. Nope, this is a business strategy, plain and simple.
And what's the ultimate result of all this work? What do you get? You get this. One single pane of glass. One API. One place for your entire organization to go to find anything they need to do their jobs. Instantly. Securely.
And the payoff for the business? Oh, it's massive. Just imagine a manufacturer sees a sudden spike in support tickets over in one cloud service. With a single search, they can instantly connect that to a faulty batch of components from their supply chain data living in a totally different cloud. That's not just a cool insight. That's preventing $1 million recall. You stop asking, where is the data? And you start asking, what can our data tell us?
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Once the system is built, once that data maze has been solved, and every piece of your company's collective knowledge is right there at your fingertips, what is the very first, most important question you're going to ask it?